Higher wages help increase the incomes, and this therefore will result in an increase in consumer spending. It is expected that a significant increase in the minimum wage could lead to a higher growth, but it could also cause inflation and unemployment since firms will be forced to pay higher costs. Unemployed people will be forced to spend less, and this will lead to reduced demand for goods, and this could affect the supply of goods and services. An increase in the minimum wage would increase the firm's cost of production. To mitigate the net effect of having to pay their employees more, the firm will instead raise the cost of the goods and services produced, which ultimately causes inflation.
Raising minimum wage would result in some low-wage workers gaining a higher income. However, firms have to adjust their distribution of money, which means that some workers may lose their jobs. Businesses face different choices. They can raise the price of their products, they can decrease their labor force, or have a combination of these methods. If minimum wage rises, more people will be looking for jobs, and businesses may not have such a demand for a large number of workers. The upside is that an increase improves worker productivity and reduces the employee turnover, which means their training and recruiting costs are decreased. Overall, the demand of labor decreases when businesses reach their limit of workers that they can afford, and they may not get to produce as much if there's less labor being used and if consumers are not buying as much due to the increase of the prices on the products.
Second part of the question, what is the opportunity cost that a rise in minimum wage has on the demand for labor in an economy that's trying to recover from a hike in unemployment? Would it be that raising the minimum wage will cause also a raise in the unemployment rate? This is because employers would have to pay each of their employees more money, so this would cause them to want to fire some and unemploy people so they could keep the same profit and not have to waste more money on employees. This would affect and hurt an economy trying to recover because it would actually make more people join the unemployment. This is because not only would it make it harder for jobless people to get jobs, but it would also fire a lot of people and would make those fired people also join the unemployment rate, which will cause it to increase, like I mentioned.
So my question is number 3, which is based on the findings of answers 1 and 2, which were answered by my teammates. What would be the impact on the GDP if the minimum wage was approved? So if the minimum wage was approved, then the GDP would decrease. This is because, as my classmates answered, if you sell something, a product, for more, then less people are going to buy that product. And if less people are going to buy that product, then it's not going to be produced. And this impacts the GDP because the GDP is the market value of all the final goods and services sold at that period of time. So if a lot of people are not buying the product and you're not selling a good amount, then the GDP will not go up, it's going to go down.